What's up, Royals? I'm Kai. Hope you're doing well. And in this video, I'm going to give you an update on the 3 Axanthic pies that I produced this season. So stick around. You're watching Lucas Landon Royals. All right, Royals, so if you have been following me on this channel, you know that I produced my very first Axanthic pie this season. Not only did I hit 1, but I hit 3 of them. I'm going to show you those in just a moment. But before I get to that, you're probably wondering, what is that bluish, purplish, glowing thing down there? Well, a few weeks ago, I did a video and there was this one irritating gnat or fruit fly that kept flying around, and I had to do take after take after take because it just kept flying by, landing on the camera lens. And I actually have a little blooper at the very end of that video. I'll put a link to that up here in the corner so you guys can get a laugh. But I'm trying that out. One of my friends suggested that, or recommended that, so I'm trying it out. It basically, there's a little blue light and it has a fan inside, a sticky pad at the bottom, so the light attracts the bugs. The bugs get sucked in through the use of the air from the fan, and then they get stuck to the paper at the bottom. So far, it's collected a few little fruit fly things, and those things come when you use cocoa or some kind of substrate other than paper, because I never had these things until I started using some other stuff like cocoa, which is short for coconut, the coconut husks and fibers and things. We're getting off topic. Let's move on to the 3 Axanthics. I'm going to give you an update on all of them. Take a look at this beautiful Axanthic pied. Now, this one is the smallest out of the 3 that I'm going to show you today, but she is probably the better looking of the 2 females that I have, and that's because she has that color as if she has pastel, but the pattern just doesn't speak pastel. It looks just like a Axanthic pied, but she's got a lot of the nice light silver colors and gray colors, and there's just something about Axanthics. The lack of color just really interests me for some reason. And of course, the whites in contrast with the silvers and the blacks, it just makes it really, really nice. Something very different than what I'm used to seeing, which is full of color, the yellows and the oranges and the tans and the golds and bronze and all of those colors. This one is like, just takes it all the way. I feel looking at this is just more peaceful, if that makes any sense. Now, like I said, this one is the smallest. She did have a little bit of trouble getting started on food initially. I tried all different kinds of prey. I tried frozen thawed mice. Of course, I first tried live rats. She didn't take that. I tried frozen thawed rats. Then I went to mice. Her very first meal, I did have to assist feed her, and then she skipped the meal, and that was because I continued to try to find something that she would take. And then ultimately she took live mice on her own, which is great because now I know what she likes, and we can keep her fed and work on transitioning her over to frozen thawed rats. So that's the goal, is to get her onto frozen thawed rats. But if she takes just live rats, that's fine as well, because I have a good supply of that. So now that she started feeding and we know what she likes, we're gonna put some more weight on this girl. So this is female number 2, and you can see how much bigger she is. She did have a meal after all. That's why there's a big bulge right here, so I'm gonna be very careful handling her. But you can see that she takes up a lot more real estate on the screen than the last one, even though I'm holding this one closer to the table than the last one. But yeah, you can see this one is much bigger, but like I said, the last one does look a little bit more cleaner. This one you can see in some areas, especially like right down here, you can see a little yellowish tint coming through. Still very beautiful and silver and gray up here. And after she sheds, she looks beautiful, but you know, you still get a little bit of the yellowish tint after a couple weeks from shedding, and especially when she is ready to do the next shed, you can see a little bit more of that yellowish tint, and that's kind of expected. But you know, the last one does look better, and I'm kind of being picky here. If I didn't have that last one, I would think that this one is probably the most beautiful Axanthic. But yeah, so when we have something to compare to, we have that kind of what do we call it, kind of the urge to compare, but I really don't want to compare. I just can't help it sometimes. All right, let's move on to the next one. And this one right here, this is the male that I hit in that first lightning pied or Axanthic pied clutch that I cut open. And this one, what I said earlier about that first girl being looking as if she had pastel in it in terms of the color and the shade, this is what I meant. You can see her color looks very similar to this one. The only difference is she has the typical striping, and only the striping, not a lot of this busyness on the sides where all these, you see all these specks. So this is typical of a pastel, and that girl that showed you earlier didn't have those specks. Now it could be a low expression pastel, so that might be attributing to why she looks super silver and clean, almost the same as this one. But this one, there's no guesswork here. This is definitely a pastel Axanthic pied, and he's got some nice whites, so you can see that contrast. And up here you can see there's some, what do you call these triangles that are coming up. Now as he gets a little bit older, we're going to get a little bit more outline and definition on these saddles. Right now you can see they kind of just like melt into the belly area from gray to white, but we'll get more defined saddles kind of like right there, and instead of just being on the dorsal, it'll also be on the side. So that's what I'm looking forward to with this one. And like I said, this one being the only male, he's going to go into the breeding rotation much sooner than his sisters, or half sisters, I guess. One is a sister, the other one's a half sister. So yeah, really pretty, really happy with the way these came out, and just wanted to show these off to you guys. I'm gonna put these back because, like I said, they did eat, so I'm gonna be very careful with them. Don't want to mess with them too much. Usually I feel like females are more impressive, probably because they end up getting larger and it takes longer for them to mature. They're also more expensive. But since I produced these and I have one male and two females this time around, I am really favoring that male. One of the reasons is because he for sure has the codom pastel in him. And the other reason is, well, being a male just means that he's going to be able to mature much sooner. In about a year, he may be able to breed. And so hopefully by 2023, we'll have him breed to about 6 different females and make a bunch of lightning pies or Axanthic pies. I have the 3 females that you guys saw from this past season, and I have 3 more that are growing up that are even more genetically powerful, and we'll be able to make some Axanthic pies with some additional codoms, pastel, fire, and cinnamon in the mix. So that's going to be really exciting, and I hope you guys stick around for that. That about wraps it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel and you want to be informed of future uploads, make sure you're subscribed and ring that notification bell. As always, thanks for watching. Please share, and remember, rollers for life. Peace out.